Hey there, guys. How are you all doing? Thanks for joining me again. As always, super appreciative to those of you that come every week and those of you that come just when you're able to. Those that catch the replays and those that reach out when they're not able to. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hey, ladies in the comments. Nikita, Mary. Good to see you guys here. So this week, our intention, I unify all parts of myself. Ooh. Voice is off. Okay. Is it, seems like it's, like the voice isn't matching up with my words? Is that what's going on, Nikita? If it's really bad, what I can do is I can try to log off and turn everything off and restart everything. If it's a little bit off and we're able to roll with it, you guys let me know which way there. This program that I use to be able to, I started, okay, Mary, I can hear, okay. As long as you can hear me, and as long as it's not too far off. Let's see. All right. So I originally when I first started doing this, I would stream to only Facebook, and then I picked up a program to be able to stream to more than one place. And that program that I use to be able to stream to both YouTube and Facebook, I'm thinking I need a different one. So if there's anybody that has any suggestions there, anybody that's done this, then let me know. Because I feel like I have like little problems like this. Sometimes when I will, I always do a test run to see if it's all working, and sometimes when I run it, a test run, I'll have where it's not syncing up and things like that. So, yeah, if you all think I should restart and try again, let me know. If not, I'm going to keep rolling. Sorry about that. I'm also wondering, and if anybody has any objections or like any naysay or for or against or anything, I was thinking about just streaming this specifically to YouTube to try to like get rid of some of these issues as well. I didn't have these issues right in the very beginning. So I was thinking about streaming it like specifically to YouTube, and then I could also share it to the Facebook page just before or something like that. So if anybody has any objections to tuning in on YouTube, let me know, because that might be the easiest fix. Okay. Lots of rambling. Rambling. So this week, I unify all parts of myself. I unify all parts of myself. Looking at this week, a lot of what we have the different aspects that we're going to talk about and the different parts are parts of the full moon that we have later on this week on Friday. The full moon is at 6 degrees Aries, so this will be our full moon, the ending of our, keep rolling. All right, Kevin says keep rolling. All right, we're gonna keep rolling then. At any time, this is totally like casual or whatnot, so if any time you guys think I need to do something, let me know, and I'm hanging out with you guys here, so I'm all for whatever we need to do here. So this week, the full moon, Friday, 6 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. I think it's 5:58, 5:57, something like that, a.m. Eastern time. So you'll have to translate to your own time zone if you're somewhere other than where I am. But on Friday, we have the full moon, 6 degrees of Aries. And the aspects that we have this week, they are all amplified because we are in this energy of the full moon. So we're going to be coming into the applying phase here really shortly, and Anyways, so a lot focused around the full moon. Venus and Uranus square. Okay, we've talked about Venus and the squares to Taurus all summer long. This is going to be the end of this is the end of it. This is the end of the conversation, guys, at least this part of it for this chapter, and then we move on to something, then we move on to the next part, to the next chapter. So this third square, this third pass, we've talked about how through the retrograde with Venus, the planets squares to Jupiter and Uranus, they're hitting 3 times, okay? We're done with Jupiter. This is the third pass, the final pass for Uranus and Venus. So this is that final push and that final breakthrough of bringing forward all of those things, and those things that you've been creating, that we've been working on all summer long. This is like the culmination of that. And it's interesting to me that the culmination of this aspect, so the Venus-Uranus aspect is applying this week, and it comes to be exact just as the full moon is coming to be exact. So the full moon is at 6 in the morning, and the Venus-Uranus square is exact something at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So it's interesting to me that as this full moon, the last full moon before our eclipse that we have coming up here in a couple weeks, it's interesting to me that this full moon is culminating just as this interaction that we've been working with between Venus and Uranus all summer culminates, and it culminates for the last time as well. So lots of energy, lots of Aries energy here, and lots of push to go with this Venus-Uranus thing that we've been talking about. So we've brought up these keywords and the things that Venus-Uranus brings together, the things that Uranus brings in general, all summer long. But just super quick, things like breakthroughs, insights, working with Venus itself specifically. You can have rebirths. You can have rebirth of love, desire, and matters of the heart. So we've been talking all about desires and the things that we want, the things that we need, the things that keep us fulfilled. We've been talking about that all summer long. This is the culmination of it. So this is that final push, that final breakthrough. It's that part where you're like, okay, I've had enough, and we're moving on. We are not revisiting that anymore, whatever that thing is for yourself. So yeah, super powerful Venus-Uranus square here. And this is something that we have been working towards all summer. So this is a unification. There's that word from our intention, unify. I unify all parts of myself. This is a unification of the things that have been bubbling and pushing through all summer long. So right along with this full moon, we have this huge bubbling that we've been working for. It's something that we've been striving for. So meanwhile, during the full moon, let's talk about what Mars is doing, okay? So full moon is in the sign of Aries. That's Mars's sign. It's Mars's home sign. So Mars rules the full moon here. Mars is sitting in Libra it'll be at 21 degrees and 7 minutes at the time of the full moon. Our new moon that we have, our eclipse on October 14th, will occur at 21 degrees and 27 minutes. So the position that Mars will be in at this full moon this week is basically 20 minutes away from the exact position where our new moon eclipse is going to be happening. We know that eclipses are very powerful beginnings and endings. They are chapters, they are theme builders, they are not necessarily things that happen overnight, but they're things that will play out over the process of, say like a year or two. Not to say there isn't going to be sudden events that can happen, things like that totally can be, but it's a little more widespread. Sometimes it's kind of like one of those things that you can't fully assess it until afterwards. But anyways, Mars sitting right at that point of where our eclipse is going to be. That's another power booster here. And I feel like it's Mars sitting right here at this position during the full moon, during our last culmination, before our eclipse in a couple weeks. Mars is going to start to push us and give us the drive and the motivation, give us the willpower, give us the movement, whether we want it or not, to start to go towards the things that the eclipses are going to be bringing in. So, you know, as soon as the nodes shifted back in July, it seemed like things started to shift. It seemed like people started experiencing things within the node where the nodal axis of Aries and Libra fall within their chart, and that's very, very classical of North Node in Aries, to just be quick and fast and happen all of a sudden, very Mars-like. But these things are going to start to come through, and they're going to start to come through quickly. So this full moon here is setting us up for the new moon eclipse that we have in a couple weeks on October 14th. So during the full moon, Mars sitting at that point, 21 degrees, we do need to mention that Mars is sitting in Libra, right? So it's not a great place for Mars. It's not a place that allows Mars to move as it would like to, and to be as quick and punctual and, you know, as like severing as Mars wants to be sometimes. But we have a little softness for Mars this week. So we mentioned this last week too, that Venus and Mars, although they're not coming into an exact sextile, they've been dancing within this 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 degree range of a sextile from Leo to Libra. So Mars is sitting in a spot that is a little bit difficult, and a place where Mars isn't able to move as quickly and as bluntly as it wants to. That's a good describing word, I feel like. So Mars might feel a little caged. Mars might feel a little agitated, maybe, like it's trying to move towards something, but it can't quite. But we have a little saving grace coming from Venus, from the sextile. Venus is in Leo. It's in the superior position, so Venus is going to play over Mars a little bit here. So with Venus being in the superior position and being more dignified than Mars is, with Mars sitting in what's called detriment, a place that's opposite from its home sign, it seems like it's going to be more of a unifying of the feminine and masculine rather than separating. I would see more of a separating, more of a angst factor if Mars was the one that was in control and in the superior position. But with Venus rolling over this, while she's in that square to Uranus, where she is having these breakthroughs and she's deciding what she is and isn't going to take anymore, she's also talking to Mars at the same time, and she's saying, okay, Mars, you're spinning your wheels here, you're getting frustrated, let's cool it a little bit. You're in Libra, you're in my sign, you're in my place where we take things slowly and we find harmony where we're at within the balance. So that's going to ease, I feel like that eases Mars a little bit here. And it brings in the unifying and the unification here that we have within our intention. It brings in the unification of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So you have Venus, the divine feminine, and you have Mars, the divine masculine energy. So there's a lot going on with this full moon, and it feels like it's going to, I mean, it's just of the nature of Aries anyways, right? And Mars. So not only is the full moon in Aries, but we have Mars in play sitting in Libra where the sun is at. So unifying all parts of myself. Another key part to this lots of aspects this week. We've had a few weeks where we haven't had much going on, but now this week it feels like we're kind of like back to having things going on here. Okay, so we've talked about the full moon in its own right. We've talked about Mars and its play within the full moon. We've talked about Venus and its play with Mars, and Venus and its play with Uranus. We also have Mercury in play this week. Mercury is coming into trines with Jupiter, which was actually yesterday on Monday, so it's coming off of a trine with Jupiter, and now it's applying to a trine with Uranus. So it's working with those planets in the sign of Taurus again. Trines in their own right bring an expansive interaction between the two planets. They are comprehensive, they are inclusive, and they bring things together. They unify on their own, trines, and they take all parts and make it a whole together. So that's the nature of the trine. Nature of the aspects that we have here in general is this expansive interaction, this inclusive, expansive interaction. So Mercury, our mind, the way we think, the way we communicate, the way we perceive, the way we problem solve, and the way we figure things out, the way we communicate and the way we are communicated with. That can include, messages from heaven or from the other side, whatever the terminology you prefer to use. Mercury has to do with all of the workings of the mind and all the intricacies that our day-to-day lives require to get through the day, the tools that we work with, the things like that. So coming into a trine with Jupiter, you have this expansive mind, you have abundance of tools and pathways and the ability to make quick assessments and figure things out, this ability to have the knowledge come into you to be able to problem solve. So you have this wisdom coming into the mind, you have this knowledge and this knowing coming in through Jupiter, this abundance through Jupiter. But then you also have the Uranian side coming into our mind as well this week. You have the rebel, you have the liberator, you have Uranus saying, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. It doesn't matter what everybody else wants or what's fair, what the rules are. We're going to do this. Where Jupiter, on the other hand, is the philosophical one. Jupiter is the planet that brings in a knowledge that allows us to make well-rounded decisions, where Uranus doesn't necessarily make well-rounded decisions. Uranus just makes decisions with what they want to do and where they want to go. So there's a lot of parts coming into play this week, and I unify all parts of myself. There's a lot coming into play this week, and it feels like a lot of little pieces coming together. Specifically with the Venus-Uranus square here, total culmination coming in at the time of the full moon, at the time of the culmination of this lunar cycle. These matters of desire and these matters of the heart and love and our relationships and the things that bring us joy, bring us harmony, that fill us up completely. This journey that we've been on through the summer, we now have a better idea, hopefully, a little bit of where we're going, or, at least a little bit of a direction here a little bit. So unifying that part that we've been working with all summer, while unifying these parts of our mind that we're tapping into this week. Remember, Mercury, our mind, our thoughts, our perceptions, all of the things that go on up here, all of the tools that come to you, all of the resources that you have available and that come to you, those are all mercurial things. So you have our mind coming into contact with the great philosopher and the great liberator. Okay, you have Venus, the planet of love and desire, beauty, harmony, the planet of wonderful and great things, coming into contact with that liberator for the last time, saying, hey, I'm getting out of here. Yes, lots of different parts coming together before before the eclipse, you know, before this new beginning, this new phase, the endings and beginnings, the first eclipse that we're going to have within Aries and Libra. So I unify all parts of myself. I unify all parts of myself. Decided to go ahead and, let's see, we'll leave that up there for a minute. Decided to go ahead and pull a card again this week. I think I've missed a couple weeks, but I've done this a few times, and a few of you seem to like it, and I seem to enjoy it too. Felt called to do so today, and the Devil. Yeah, the Devil card. That's what we pulled today. Should we just sit with that for a minute? It's not always all bad. I unify all parts of myself. This is telling me within our intention, I unify all parts of myself. This is telling me that we truly need to unify all parts of ourselves. That's not leaving one side out because we think it fits a certain mold. That's not leaving something behind because it doesn't fit a certain standard. It's unifying all parts of ourselves and finding the right balance and not going overboard one way or the other. You try to hide the devil and they're probably it's gonna come back out sooner or later, right? So although this can be a scary card to some, I find it to be very much it's very much a like in your face type of thing for this intention. So it's like, okay, you're saying you want to unify all parts of yourself, then go ahead and do it. All parts of yourselves, and don't leave any out, because all of the parts of you are part of you. And yeah, it's dealing with the shadows and the things that, you know, we might not want to keep out on our sleeves all the time. But sometimes, I don't know, sometimes if you put those things out on your sleeve, you might find somebody else that likes it, or, you know, is interested in it, or helps somebody, or whatever, you know. Of course, there's always things we need to kind of keep lids on a little bit and keep, you know, it's all about finding a balance, right? Not overdoing one thing or another. So this week, I unify all parts of myself. As we've been talking, hopefully you're kind of thinking of these things that have come to mind and been coming up through this this time that Venus has been moving through Leo. We are getting closer to the end. I think we got like a week and a half left before Venus moves on to Virgo, wrapping things up in the sign of Leo and the sign of Taurus. So I don't know if you have seen things coming up where those two signs are within your own chart, but I know that I sure have. And lots of other people that I hear either tell me something, you know, and then I look at their chart. It's like, okay, there it is. Or, you know, they ask to look at their chart and we talk about it, and okay, there it is. Yeah, it's been showing up for a lot of people, and I don't want to say that like it's almost over, but it's moving on to the next chapter, moving forward here. So yeah, I unify all parts of myself. Today, the tarot cards are calling our bluff and saying, if you're going to unify all parts of yourself, then you better unify all parts of yourself. So here in this meditation, while we're working with our intention, while we're working with the energies, I want you to be honest with yourself. I think what this is telling us is that, you know, there's things that are being held back, and there's a time to hold back, but there's also a time to move forward. There's a time to be Uranian and be the liberator and break through and move forward. Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, that time is now, within reason. So, with that, meditation time. Oops. Okay, so find a comfortable position. Get out any last little wiggles and fidgets that you may have. Mercury coming into the interaction with Uranus could definitely have some nervous, like anxious energy this week. So if you feel yourself feeling a little bit more fidgety, a little bit more anxious, or if those are things that kind of already kind of play into your life, you may want to, put little practices in place or do the little things that help you kind of bring your system down a little bit, because I could definitely see that going into this week. So get out any last little fidgets that you have. I like to literally shake them out. And then we will light our intentional candle. As always, white candle for this situation. It's universal. Clarity, purity, universal energy. So, as I light the physical candle in front of me, I want you to see the flame. I want you to see it ignite, and then I want you to watch the flame grow. I want you to see that flame as if it's a candle that's right in front of you. So whether you're looking at the screen or closing your eyes and visualizing a candle, focus on that flame. See how it wiggles, see how it dances, see how it sparks every once in a while. Notice the glowing hue that surrounds the candle, that surrounds the flame. Notice any different colors that you may see in the flame. You see any blue? Is there any part of the flame that you can partially see through? And how big is that flame? This flame represents a fire that is in each and every one of us. An eternal flame that lies right within your heart space, right within your chest, nestled up right next to your soul. And after that flame helps calm your systems and relaxes you, you bring your focus from that flame to your breath. And as you breathe in and out, you take quick notice of how your breath is at this very moment. The depth of your breath, the speed, the efficiency. Does it feel calm or does it feel rushed? Unifying all parts of yourself includes meeting yourself where you are at this moment and building up from there. Slowly you start to deepen your breath. Each inhale is slightly longer than the one before it. Each exhale releasing a little more than the one before that. As you start to deepen your breath, you continue the cycle of breathing in and out. You not only start to feel a little more relaxed with each breath, with each cycle, but you also feel a little more connected to yourself, a little more capable, a little more able with each breath. Each breath gives us a chance to start something new, to take in new air, new life, just say a new sentence, or new words, or new thoughts. An opportunity to bring nourishment in to our body. Oxygen that is circulated through every little bit of you. As the moon travels through Pisces and enters Aries, moving into position opposite the sun, in the place of Aries, the place of starting, place of initiation, place of new ideas, new growth, new birth, place of new energy, the place of Mars, and at the opposite place in the sign of Libra, in Venus's place, we have the Sun. In the place of balance and harmony, the place of leveling and balancing the scales, here we have an opportunity to unify the two. We have an opportunity to unify action and movement, as well as flow and balance. And just as your breath cycles in and out, bring balance to your body and unifies the external and the internal. This full moon unifies the masculine and the feminine, the internal and the external. There's a new chapter just over the horizon. Now is the time to fully bring yourself together. Unify all parts of yourself and make yourself whole. Perhaps things have been removed. Feelings, circumstances, people, places, situations. Perhaps things have been moved or dislodged or flat out removed. Maybe order has been changed. Rearranging energies within your own body. Either way, any open space has room to be filled in order to completely unify all parts of yourself. As you continue to breathe in and out, you start to notice how fulfilled and how complete you really feel. And as you continue to breathe in and out, you feel energized, stable, grounded, and ready. Bringing in beneficial, helpful energies, expelling whatever no longer serves you. Start to notice a light shining down from overhead. And very slowly, you tilt your head up and you look upwards towards that brilliantly blinding, beautiful light. As you continue to look at this exhilarating, powerful, illuminating light, you start to notice little things coming out of the sky, little pieces, little flakes. And slowly they begin to gravitate towards you. First, you see just a few little random pieces. But then, before you know it, quantity grows and grows and grows. And all these little pieces, all these little parts are coming to your being. You can physically and energetically feel these little parts of you that you didn't even know you were missing becoming part of your being. Unifying the parts of you that you have forgotten, the parts of you you have lost, and the parts that maybe you don't show to everyone else. Here within your own space, here you are able to be honest and completely truthful with yourself, even if for just a moment. Within the oracle of the tarot deck, the major arcana card, the devil, speaks to us. Not to frighten or scare us, but to bring us a truthful and realistic message. all parts of you are necessary in order to be whole. Your ability to overcome has been tested. Your strength, your will, and your determination. But here you are, complete, whole, and unified. And as we come into this full moon, as we move through this week, working towards the culmination that happens at the end of the week, we have the drive, the motivation, the tools, the wisdom, the knowledge, we have the guts and the strength to liberate ourselves from whatever chains have been holding ourselves down. Ready to take a breath, fresh air within a new chapter, a new cycle, a new period. And as you're contemplating where you've been, where you are, and where you are going, for just a quick moment, you get an insight, you get a quick view of your past, of your present, and of your future. Past you, the present you, and the future you are all a part of you. I unify all parts of myself. I unify all parts of myself. All of my experiences of this life and my previous lives have brought me to the point I am at now. I am an internal being within a material body. All parts of myself, all parts of my soul extends beyond the present into the past and into the future. So go this week and see if you can unify all of those parts of you, yourself. Namaste, my friends. Thank you, all of you, for joining me here. I said that in the beginning, but I'll say it again. Yeah, it feels like with this full moon, it feels like there's a breath of fresh air around the corner. Where exactly that corner is different for all of us, I suppose. But, yeah. I hope you have enjoyed this meditation, and I hope you all enjoy this different way of looking at the astrology for the week. I think when we can look at all of the energies and the aspects and the transits and the placements, and we can come up with an intention here, we come up with a phrase, we come up with keywords that, as I've always said, is just a basis. It's just like an umbrella term. It's just a framework. You totally take that intention and change it, amplify it, edit it, customize it to your own life and your own path. And then meet here with us. And beforehand, I post intentions on Sundays, so that way you can work with it a little bit before we come here if you'd like to, before we meet together, before I have anything to say or anybody else has anything to say. And then we'll meet here on Tuesdays. So you can look next Sunday for a new intention for next week's meditation. Facebook page, YouTube community tab, Instagram page, Meditative Astrology website. There's a tab on there for the latest replay and the new intention. Those are the places that you can find the new intention. There's always I've been forgetting to mention this, but if you go to the Facebook page, there is an event on the Meditative Astrology Facebook page that correlates with each week's meditation. Some people like to RSVP to that Facebook event, so that way if you're somebody who wants to come and join in on this live, but maybe you forget or it slips your mind or whatever because it's late in the day or early in the day, whatever it may be, yeah, go ahead and utilize that. So respond to the event, respond going or whatnot, share it with those that you think might enjoy joining us, and yeah, responding to that kind of helps the event grow and it helps it reach more people, so that's always super helpful. Thank you, all of you. Going into this week, into the full moon, in the sign of Aries and Libra, we're working this nodal axis where these eclipses are going to be happening are within the signs of Mars and the signs of Venus. So it's within its nature, there's going to be a duality, and within a duality there has to be some sort of unification. If there's not unification, then there's things pushing away from each other. So I feel like this, I unify all parts of myself. I unify the Mars part of me and the Venus part of me, which those two parts, those two together make up a large part of ourselves, and most things can be put into either a Venus category or a Mars category. So I feel like this intention really just kicks off eclipse season quite nicely. So thank you again. I hope you go into this week being able to unify all parts of yourself, the ones that you think you should, and the ones that you're a little bit hesitant about. It's just about it's finding balance within the two of those and not ignoring them. We ignore the shadows, then they'll probably come up in a not so great or worse or whatever way. So heed the warning of the devil card. Not really. I was slightly hesitant at first when I pulled the card. I was like, do I want to show this card? Of course I do, because this is the card that the oracle is telling me to share, and it'll probably reach somebody. So that's that. Thank you.